kidding me? This team knows how to play, and they know how good they are, and it's darn good.
That's right, Jay. They were darn good all season. The small school from West Philly, the tiny campus, providing so much intrigue for this college basketball season. They're rewarded with the #1 seed. But the poll question is, will St. Joseph's advance to the Final Four out of that East Rutherford bracket, which also features Oklahoma State, Pittsburgh, and Wake Forest? Go to ESPN.com and vote. I'm guessing there's going to be plenty of skeptics. Joining us right now, Phil Martelli, the coach of St. Joseph's. Coach, you don't really have to defend yourself against critics, but I'm going to give you a chance anyway, because there's people out there that say, I can't buy the Hawks as a 1 seed because on a neutral floor, teams like Pittsburgh and Connecticut and Mississippi State and Oklahoma State would be better than your team. How do you answer that?
Well, I would say this committee studies as much data as anybody physically can, and they decided that this is what we are, that we're a #1 seed. So for people to be talking and all this empty nonsense, it's really kind of a waste of energy, and it's time to play. Enough talking, let's play.
Phil, they starting to love me again in Philly, right? Phil, a little bit? Just a little bit?
Yeah, I think you're way ahead, Digger. You're way in fact, you know what? When I drive by the Pico building today, your name will be in lights, believe me.
After the thing that happened to you with Xavier, what concerns do you have going in based on what didn't work in that game?
Well, the biggest thing was when we kind of traveled the next day and a half and just kind of watching these guys, as you well know, Digger and Dick, that I watched their eyes and their bodies, and they felt sorry for themselves. And my point all along was we did that. Xavier played great, but we did that to ourselves. We didn't play. We didn't guard, which was the biggest thing. We put everybody on an island and let them get they were dribbling wherever they wanted to go. So what I did yesterday was I went back and practiced the first practice of the year. I did it exactly to the minute, exactly the same teams, the same matchups. Today we did the second practice of the year, and I told them when we got here tonight that this is for celebration, tomorrow's for preparation. But Saturday and Sunday I used to kind of like flush them out emotionally, and I thought they did a really nice job of responding to that.
You know, Phil, what I want to ask you is, psychologically, how important it was for you and your kids to be a #1 seed?
Well, Dick, to be honest with you, it wasn't. It wasn't a psychological. I told the team when we left our last meeting in Dayton on Thursday night was I didn't want to hear any discussion about the seed. It would be what it would be, and we would have to play a game. But I wanted an anger. I wanted a chip. I wanted an attitude that we couldn't wait to get to our next game, whether we were the 8th seed or the 2nd seed or the 1st seed, if they were sending us to St. Louis or Buffalo, wherever. I wanted an attitude because the taste that we left in our own mouths about how poorly we played couldn't last. I will say this, though. Now that it's been a #1 seed, it was what I thought would happen. In the back of my head when I wondered about it, the adrenaline rush, they're ready to go. And we're actually going to meet again later tonight around 11:30 just to discuss the logistics and then practice tomorrow. But everybody here is obviously elated and really excited. Still have to play on Thursday, though.
Hey, Phil, I'm going to be the agent, and I am going to right now book Digger to speak at your banquet.
Well, that's what I was saying to Digger off the air. April the 23rd in this field house. The only other thing, Dick, is they've asked me to ask him to be the commencement speaker.
No,
we
I'll
can't
do both.
afford you, but we would like to have Digger.
I'll do both. I want to do that banquet on the 23rd. We'll do it for charity, and if I can get an honorary doctorate, I'll do commencement also.
Wow.
Hey, Phil, it's Jay Billis. Phil, it's Jay Billis.
Yes, Jay.
I wanted to ask you a question about one of the weaknesses people say that your team has is rebounding, and if you had to play against a drop-dead three-man that could put it on the floor, take you to the basket, or post up one of your smaller guards. I don't happen to see any of those type of teams in your sub-region. Is that something that you would worry about in a tournament setting?
Well, Jay, I'll tell you all along, I've always been worried about big, strong perimeter guys. This idea that size is going to hurt us, I just don't buy it, because I just don't think there's that guy that exists in college that much. And this idea of rebounding, it's because the other team has missed a lot of shots. We play really good defense. We haven't fouled. We haven't gotten into a lot of trouble with N1s on the offensive rebounds. We got hammered again on the glass by Xavier, but the fact was we missed so many shots that there were a lot of rebounds for them and really none for us because they made every shot. What you described, that big, powerful wingman, particularly if anybody wants to call him a 3, that's the guy that I have the greatest concern with. We could do nothing against Romain Sada this time around. The first time, we did a real reasonable job and we beat them in Cincinnati, but this time we couldn't. That's the team that concerns me the most, the big, physical perimeter team.
Phil, this is Andy Katz. We're going to put you on a little bit on the spot, like you're on the selection committee. Richmond, one of the last at-large teams in the field, they got an 11 seed. Why should the Spiders have been included in this field?
Well, because I think what they did is they took a chance. They went on the road. They went to Colorado. They went to Kansas. They have those big wins at those two places. A lot of people that were in that mix, I don't know enough about all the schedules, Andy. Only you would know that. But to know that they went on the road and won those games, and you know, I have to put up my chest out a little bit because the Atlantic 10 has been kind of kicked to the curb all year long, and here we are sitting with 4 teams in the tournament.
Phil, I want to give you a chance to address America. Once again, we're having fun on ESPN.com. Fans voting. Will St. Joe's go to the Final Four? 88% don't think he can do it. You get the Texas Tech or Charlotte winner. You have teams like Florida, Wake Forest, perhaps Pittsburgh, Oklahoma State, Wisconsin. You got America against you again.
All we can do then in Philadelphia is worry about Jim Thomey's injury. You know what? You know what the problem is? Most of the people in Philadelphia don't know how to use a computer, so they couldn't vote.
That's a good answer. Hey, Phil, thanks for your time. Best of luck the first-round game against the Liberty Flames, Buffalo, on Thursday. All right, we'll come back. Moment number 7 in our countdown.